Mike McFeely from the Fargo Forum.
Hey, Reece, I'll ask you the same question I asked Mark, and that's just your guys' approach this year to taking on the, we want to win a national championship idea head on. It's, I think it's been pretty obvious you guys haven't backed away from that. Can you just sort of address that and your thoughts about that?
Yeah, for sure. It's been kind of a culture shift for the team. Winning the conference was always important to us, but we kind of focused this year on winning the national championship, and that kind of came from like the weekly mentality, focus on that team, and I think this year more than years in the past, we've really just focused on each week, and it's been beneficial this year.
Both you and NDSU have some transfers, but not a ton of transfers. I think you guys have 7 that I counted on your roster. NDSU has about 5. Do you guys is just kind of address that, and you guys might be kind of dinosaurs in college football, just in terms of not having, even in your own conference, of not having so many transfers. How important is that to have those 4- and 5-year guys?
Transfers, it's really important to a lot of teams, but I think NDSU and we both our programs are both great at developing players, and so we don't really rely on the transfers as much, but it's really nice to have the ability to go and reach out and grab a couple transfers, such as like John O'Brien, who now starts for us at right tackle, and Brian Williams, that now plays significant reps at D-line, and it's nice to have the ability to go get those players, and it definitely helps to our team's success.
Thank you.
We'll go to Luciano Chatelain again from Endzoners.
Hey, Reece, I hope you're doing well, and thanks for your time. North Dakota State has looked really well in the run game in their last few games. How is it to face such a tough and physical team as the Bison?
Oh, we've seen their run game a lot, and that's kind of what makes this matchup a little bit different. We're a really good run defense, and NDSU is obviously one of, if not the best, run offense. So it's going to be a smash mouth type of game, and you're going to have to, since we've played so many times, it's going to be important to kind of change up the looks on both ends, and
Great, thanks.
We'll go to Zach McKinnell from the Bluebloods for the next question.
Appreciate your time, Reece. South Dakota State has had the strongest run defense in the country all season long. Can you speak to how you guys built that chemistry in the front four, and how playing with each other over these past few years has really led to a historic year for you guys?
Coach Smith is really great at rotating guys in, so he keeps us pretty fresh, and that helps in the long run, because the guys that in the past might not have played a lot have been getting reps in the past, and so we've really kind of developed in a very cohesive group. And then, as long as we fit the gaps correctly, we know our linebackers and our secondary are going to fit the run correctly too. So that's kind of what's been helpful with our run defense.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Next to Zach Borg, Dakota News Now.
Reece, same question I asked Mark. You guys are down 21-7 mid-October in the Fargo Dome. That's usually lights out for anybody in that position. What did you learn from that game that maybe you take moving forward? Obviously, you don't want to be in the same position again a week from Sunday, but how much added confidence did that give you, and does that give you moving forward?
We learned that we can't make those mistakes. You can't come out flat, especially in the national championship game against the Bison, who are, 9-0 down there. You just can't come out as slow as we did that game, and all in the past 3 matchups, most of those games are one-play games, and so we can't really make the minor mistakes. So we'll just have to, do our part, and then hopefully we succeed.
And I know obviously the focus is usually their run game when you play them, but they really hit you in that game with the passing attack right away. That's how they built that lead. I know they only completed the one pass in the semifinal, but anything you do differently, anything you saw from that game as you look back that hopefully has you a little better prepared for their passing attack?
Well, Cam didn't the stats didn't show last game about how great of a passer he is. But when you can run the ball the way they were last week, I mean, there's no reason to pass. And so, I mean, when we play him, a lot of times we're thinking run all the way, and that's why they can occasionally sneak one of those passes in there. So it's just important to play a solid defense and do your job, and then, then that will be good.
Lastly, you got any side bets with your old Marshall teammate Trey Lance for this one?
No, but there is a little talk going on. He's obviously he says he roots for me every game, except when we play the Bison. So we'll see.
Thanks, man.
Next question to Grant Sweeter from Kello TV.
Hey, Reece, we've talked about, facing dual threat quarterbacks the last couple of times we've talked, with, Holy Crosses and then Montana State. Cam Miller's a guy that has that ability as well. How do you kind of approach that with another dual threat quarterback, having played a couple here recently?
It's been good for us to play two really great running quarterbacks the past 2 weeks, and it helped our defense a lot, and we've kind of solved some things like that. But it's important going into this national championship game because they obviously, especially last year, they ran Cam Miller a ton. But playing these running quarterbacks, you just got to be gap sound and keep your rush lanes, and yeah.
And then after, the success you guys, you struggled a little bit against Holy Cross. You obviously made a great adjustment against Montana State. Does that give you a little confidence, going into this, having known, I know they're different offenses, but having known that you can slow down, a dual threat quarterback of the talent that they have?
Yeah. We definitely have the confidence. We know we can do it as long as we tackle and, pursue the ball in the correct lanes and stuff. But in the past games when we've played NDSU, Cam's run the ball and he's a really great runner. So this week and this next week, it'll be important game planning and, really trying to solve our mishaps that we had against Holy Cross to continue to be good on defense.
All right, next question to Andrew Holton from the Brookings Register.
Hey, Reece. Stig has talked a lot about how once you guys were ranked #1, you guys wanted to play like it. You guys have been one of the top defenses all year in the FCS. How much pride do you guys take in being that, and how much does it motivate you guys when you take the field?
We take a lot of pride in it, and especially in our run defense, we've had a stellar season, and the stats, are nice to see, but we've had the belief that we are the #1 defense in the country, and to be competitive at a national level, you just got to have that belief. And so we just got to keep believing in ourselves, and hopefully that'll turn out then.
And with that, was that belief there from the start? Like, did you guys think in fall camp that you guys had a chance to be one of the top defenses in the FCS?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we play against one of the best offenses in the country. The D-line goes against arguably the best offensive line in the country. And so, iron sharpens iron, and, there's a lot of preseason hype about our offense. So, that kind of lit a fire under the defense, knowing that, yeah, we lost some important guys last year, a lot of guys that played, but we had a lot of guys that were getting those reps behind them, and they developed, and, we knew we could play to a different level.
Next question from Christopher Heidel with Herb FM.
Hey, Reece, this is Chris Heidel from Herb FM Radio in Baltimore. Congratulations on making to Frisco. Just talk about your run defense. You only gave up maybe 4.4 yards a carry in that game. Is that something you guys are going to improve on to make their day a little bit better, worse on next week?
Yeah. I mean, you're always aiming to improve. And our whole defensive staff, are working hard at trying to figure out, what defense we'll kind of try to throw at them. And, it's important to be very gap sound and doing your job against the Bison. They one misfit, and they're going to break a big run. And that's kind of what we've seen in a lot of the past games they've played against Incarnate Word and such, that it's those big runs that really kind of, if they keep churning away at the run, the one big run will kind of change that game.
Thanks, Reese.
Yep.
Time for a few more questions. We'll go to Jeff Kolpak from the Fargo Forum.
Hey Reese, can you imagine practicing outside in November and December, and what kind of difference does your indoor make?
Oh, it's pretty nice, and especially when it's raining and windy, and it's nice to be able to go in there and prepare. And now that we have that indoor playing down in Frisco, is definitely, it's better that way because now we don't have to practice out in the 15-degree weather and wind, and then go down to Frisco, and then everyone's going to cramp up, So it's really nice to have.
Okay, thanks.
Two more questioners. Dom Izzo from WDAY TV in Fargo.
Reese, it's good to see. I know Zach asked about your history with Marshall. Can you describe what Coach Ballman meant to you and developing you into the kind of football player you've become?
I love Coach Ballman. He's a really great coach, very old school approach to football, the type of coach that, we didn't get water back in my day. That's his mindset. We just did salt tablets, And so I started going into the weight room with all the guys that have been successful at 5th grade, and he really encouraged you to get in the weight room, and then he developed you as a player and as a person, and he's really great coach.
I know I talked to Trey during the lead up to the draft about how split Marshall has become. Is it when you went home for the holiday? Is it still that way for NDSU, SDSU, and Marshall?
Yeah, there's a lot of Bison fans down there, and but Marshall's only an hour away from Brookings, so there's still quite a bit of Jackrabbit fans over there too. So, and in one of the bars downtown, there's Trey's jersey hanging right next to mine, and I always get pictures of it. People on both sides of the spectrum saying like horns down or like bashing the Jackrabbits. So
You've now played in more championship games than him. How does that feel? He's even won. You're going to be in your second now.
Yeah, that is weird to think. It was definitely fun to play against Trey in the college game day here in Brookings, and it's really great to see him at the next level.
Thanks, Reese.
Yep.
All right, our final question for Reece Winkelman will come from Craig Haley with Stats Perform.
Thanks for your time, Reese. What looks and feels different when you look at the Bison offense without Hunter Lipke?
They don't really have as many trick plays as they used to, I would say, but their fullbacks are great. It's just one of those institutions that, a fullback is one of the last places that they can be up there, and their players that they got right now are great players, and, without Lupke, their offense still isn't the same, but, they're still really great.